Hello and welcome to guided meditation and mindful movement with Leo Gray on behalf of Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. Visit us on the web at urbanyoga.org or on Facebook at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. Stop by to make donations and tip jar to support our online classes and to check out the schedule, which changes every month. It's the 20th? No, it's the 23rd. It's the 23rd, so we have another week and a bit before the schedule changes again. But be on the lookout for August. Something's shifting around. The word I have been told is that this new Saturday class and the new Wednesday evening class will stay, as well as the Monday and Wednesday and Friday morning ones that I've been doing. So my 5 classes, as far as I know, will continue in August. So anyway, here we are. I'm going to start today in a reclined posture. Now, you decide what that's going to be. You might be over by the wall or the couch and have your legs up on the wall or the couch. Whatever's comfortable for you. You could lie flat in Shavasana, corpse pose like this. Maybe plant the soles of your feet. Let your knees lean in towards each other. Maybe bring the soles of your feet together with your knees splayed out. With the option there to use blocks to hold up your legs. Maybe something else. Just get comfortable. And it doesn't matter what that comfortable shape looks like. If you like, close your eyes. Notice your breath. Maybe picture your breath, like picturing the tip of your nose, the edges of your nostrils, where the air moves in and out. Or maybe you're exhaling through your mouth. If you're feeling a little too warm, exhaling through the mouth helps lower your temperature. Just by noticing your breath, it's been slowing down and getting deeper. And it will continue to do so as we're in the more still portions of practice. And we're going to layer on now some visualization. Thinking of your breath as light. And you can decide what color that light is, whether there's a shape to it, like there are tendrils, or if it's more amorphous, more vague, sort of an area instead of a shape. Whatever definition there might be to it, whatever color the light of your breath might be, picture light moving in and out of you, as if the air is charged. Think of the energy brought to your body by your breathing. After all, without breathing, we can't respire, we can't process food into energy. So in a way, breath is energy. We use different words. We talk about prana. Prana means life, but we also use this word to mean breath. Sometimes we do breathing exercises and we want to use the Sanskrit, we call it pranayama, discipline of breath. So as you're picturing these tendrils or this mass of light, whatever color yours is, maybe it's shifting. Picturing it moving in and out. Imagining how, as your breath's getting deeper, more and more of you is being lit up from the inside. And with each exhale, as you gently let the air out, a bigger external area is lit up. Perhaps imagine yourself in a darkened space so that as you're breathing out, you can enjoy the light show more, take in the contrast. And bit by bit, a little more with each breath. Picture your body being gradually filled with light when you're breathing in. And that same volume of light hanging in the air outside your body at the end of each exhale. So you can picture the light spreading from your belly and your chest, where the diaphragm and the lungs are, working its way up into your shoulders, down into your pelvis, and bit by bit, a little bit of arms, a little bit of the legs being lit up. Can you feel each breath, even just any tiny bit deeper than the previous? And it's okay if you can't take in such a minor degree. Imagine that degree of change is there, that degree of light is shifted. Many would find it's easier to picture the light than to feel the difference in the breath. That's okay. One can help the other along, and this can work in either direction. It can work in both directions. And imagine in the next 3 or 4 breaths that you'll have, if you haven't already, your whole interior lit up at the end of each inhale. And the whole space in front of you lit up at the end of each exhale. Maybe you picture an illuminated mirror image of yourself, like a breath ghost. And then without really exerting effort, just making it more of a thought exercise, more of a mind game, if you will. Imagine the breaths getting a little smaller, not restricting them, but maybe the next inhale doesn't quite light up the tips of your toes and fingers. And maybe the one after that doesn't quite make it all the way into your palms, to the arches of your feet. So reversing the process with each breath, imagine this volume of light decreasing a little with each cycle of breath. Still taking in plenty of air, as much air as you need. Maybe taking in a bit less, maybe just imagining a change in the light. Change in the quality of the breath, maybe not even in the volume. Gradually, the light seeping out of the arms and the legs. The shoulders and the pelvis. So this glowing light of your breath, your life force, is centered again around the mechanisms of your breath. Your lungs, your diaphragm, your chest, your belly. And without directing your breath to change, just letting your breath flow on its own. Picture the light with each cycle of breath fading just a little, getting dimmer and dimmer. See how many degrees you can get the visual to change by. No need to count them, but maybe think of reducing the brilliance of that light you're seeing in your mind's eye by half on each breath. How many times can you dial that down to 2%? Still perceive some light. If you're still perceiving some light along with each breath, still reducing it by half, you're more adept at this exercise than I am. Not that it's a contest. You can keep going if you're still engaged in that, or maybe it has ended for you as well. In the coming weeks, we'll play with other ways of directing our mind, of focusing our attention. Sometimes it's other visual modes. Sometimes we use sound. Similar to how we just imagined a light getting 50% dimmer with each cycle of breath. There's a little game we can play with, like a bell or a chime or a singing bowl, where you strike the instrument and then as the sound fades lower and lower, you try to pinpoint the instant where you stop hearing it. It's a little mind game that I enjoy. Another another way to focus this amazing tool that is our mind. Now let's play another little mic game to bring us through some body awareness in a different way. Touch your left thumb and forefinger together, making a circle. And imagine there's a light where those two digits touch. Then as you separate them, picture the light sticking to your index finger and touch your index finger to your middle finger. As you separate your fingers, picture the light sticking to the tip of your middle finger and touch your middle finger to your ring finger. And no, you can't make a circle like you do with your index finger. I'm just touching my fingers together, sort of parallel. Whatever contact you can do is fine. And if it's tricky to contact any two fingers together, maybe touch them on the ground at the same time to make the connection. As you separate your middle and ring finger, picturing the light stick to your ring finger, touch your ring finger to your pinky. Separate those fingers, imagine the light sticking to the tip of your pinky. Slowly lift your hands towards each other, touch your left pinky to your right pinky. And pass that little ball of light from one hand to the other. Separating your hands with the light attached to your right. Touch your pinky to your ring finger. As you separate them, the light sticks to your ring finger. Touch your ring finger to your middle finger. And separating them, imagine the light on your middle finger. Touch it to your index finger to pass the light over there. Separating those fingers, the light stays on your index finger. Touch your index finger to your thumb. And as you separate those digits, imagine the light stays on your right thumb. Let your hands relax. Picture the light fading out, winking out, sinking into the ground, saying goodbye to it however you want. Let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths. And if you want to, you can add any visual to this breath you want. Maybe it's light again, maybe it's something else. Now, from wherever we are, we want to all get to a starting position here for some movement practice. So if you have the soles of your feet planted and your knees leaning towards each other, stay just like that. And if you're in some other position, make your way to that position. If you have your legs as I do, please use your arms to lift your knees towards each other so you don't strain anything here in the upper legs or hips. And then if you were using blocks here as I was, those out of the way. So we all end up with the soles of our feet planted, knees pointing towards the ceiling. Scoot your heels in close towards your butt. Cross your right ankle above your left knee. Reach your arms out to the sides with your palms facing up. Check in and see if you can feel your shoulder blades pressing against the floor. And it's okay if you can't tune into that specific sensation. But aiming to keep both shoulders grounded, let your legs fall to the left and turn your head to the right. Allow your breath to bring you out. We're not going to worry about how far the legs go. Just let them hang and see where they want to go. The legs in this shape make for an energizing twist. Sometimes we bring the knees closer to the torso and play the deeper twists, but that's not what this practice is about today. Sometimes it's very instructive to focus on doing less, or just focus on doing enough. What's more challenging? Is it more challenging for you to do just enough or to do less than what you're doing? Maybe some ways to practice that. Those concepts, that discipline away from your mat are popping into your head as some are popping into my head. Slowly come back up to center. And we're going to do something a little different here. Usually at this point, we cross the legs the other way and just take the opposite twist. Keeping your legs in this shape, let your legs fall to the right. And if you want to, if it's comfortable, you can turn your head to the left. And how does that feel? There's no wrong answer to the question. How does that feel? Even if the answer is I don't know, or I'm not feeling much of anything, or simply feels weird, or new, I haven't done that before. And maybe the legs do some funny things. My left foot keeps sliding a little bit further away from my butt each breath as my right leg lowers down a little more. It's just letting these things happen. Slowly bring everything back up to center. Let's uncross the legs. Start again with both feet planted and heels in close to your butt. Then cross your left ankle above your right knee. Remember to try to let your shoulders stay on the ground, which is different from pushing them to the ground, right? Just focus on staying grounded. If you don't stay completely grounded, it's okay. Something to focus on. Let your legs come to the right and turn your head to the left. Feels very different than with our legs crossed the other way. At least to this yogi. Pretty significant difference in how that feels. Very slowly, come back up to center. And take your time to let your legs fall to the left and turn your head to the right. With your legs crossed that same way. Left ankle above right knee. And just allow those legs to move any way they want to. I'm experiencing a similar thing here. My right foot is scooting forward as my left knee drifts down. And I'll just let that happen. Take your time to bring it all back up to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest and hug your knees. Explore any rocking and rolling movements that you like. See what your body wants. We can play with visualizations here too in the movement. If you want to close your eyes, you can imagine that your kneecaps are lit up. And what shape are you drawing in the air as you move around? So you can even play around with your hands on your knees and rotate the knees in opposite circles. And maybe change direction or maybe more random movements. Maybe you draw circles or ovals or get fancy. See if you can move in a figure eight. Maybe focus more on the feeling than the light visualization. Can you focus on both? Moving according to what your body is asking for and picturing the light trails made by your electrified beams. Let go of your knees, extend your arms and legs. Pause to wet my whistle. Part of taking care of a body is hydrating it. Oops. And then he drops his water. Sometimes part of breathing is coughing a little water that started to go down the arm. I'm going to work in segments on a little focused movement. One limb at a time, just a different way to direct the mind and listen to the body. In any way that you want to move your right leg and your right foot. Picturing them, feeling for any tight spots, and investigating what movements alleviate that tension. If you don't have any tight spots, congratulations. Explore what movements feel good or interesting or informative. Maybe you're feeling really great. You want to play with what movement feels challenging or just fun. Play with making the smallest or slowest movement you can. There's no wrong way to explore. Explore with the right leg and right foot for a few more breaths. That could include stopping the movement sooner and just exploring what feels different. Maybe comparing the left to the right. When you're ready, begin to move your left foot and left leg similarly in any way that you like. One side may want something different than the other, may feel different things on each side. And of course, other parts of the body move a bit when we move one limb, that's okay. Just focusing more on this left foot and this left leg. Seeing what they want, what they need, what's interesting or fun. over the next few breaths or sooner as you like. With the exploring of movement in your left leg and foot. Wind down. Come to stillness again. Let everything be still for at least a couple breaths. Begin exploring, moving your left hand and left arm. Maybe you thought I was going to start with the right. Maybe there was an expectation there because we did the right leg and right foot first. We thought the right arm and right hand first. Doesn't matter, just things to observe or consider. What movement does this limb, this appendage want? Are there tight spots to ease out? Are there movements to avoid? That's valuable information too. If you move in a certain way and that doesn't feel so good, taking note of that so we don't repeat it. Do bigger movements feel better or smaller or some of each? Maybe they just feel different. We don't need value judgments necessarily, but what's better or worse, easier or harder. It's endlessly interesting to just move intuitively, to listen to your body. Over the course of the next few breaths, let your left arm and left hand gradually find stillness again. You don't have to come back to the position you started in. Maybe you found a different position that's more comfortable. You can pause, scan, comparing the left side and the right side. Maybe comparing the 3 limbs and 3 appendages we've moved already to the ones that we haven't moved yet. Does that right hand and right arm feel eager, patient? Let it start to move, exploring anything at all, remembering there is no wrongness to be found. Even if we discover a movement or a position that doesn't feel good, that's valuable information. That's something we just learned. Oh, my shoulder doesn't want to go like that. Oh, my hand doesn't feel good in that position. Something might occur to you that didn't occur to you when you were doing the left side. So it's not just about the sensations we discover, but it's about the thoughts that come up. Let the movements of your right hand and right arm slow down and gradually stop over your next few cycles of breath. Finding stillness, scan your body head to toe. Taking in whatever internal sensations you detect. And then let's scan the bottom up to the top, focusing on our contact with the ground. Maybe explore small movements to tune into grounding contact of your heels. Is it the back of your heel or is it more the side? Maybe your feet are splayed apart more than mine are. Feel what part of your calves are touching the floor, how much of the muscle is touching the floor. What other parts of the legs are touching the floor? For me, my knees don't touch the floor in Shavasana, at least not today. And actually, as far as I can determine, my thighs aren't touching the floor. So everybody's built differently. We've had different mornings leading up to this practice. For me, my calves are on the floor, and my butt is on the floor, but no part of the legs in between is touching the floor. I didn't even notice this until I was focusing on it and talking about it. Feeling whatever parts of your upper legs are on the floor, feeling the contact of your butt with the floor. Taking in whatever lower back connection there is. Middle back. Upper back, shoulders, shoulder blades. Upper arms. Elbows. Do your lower arms touch? Just below my elbow touches. And then my hands, and nothing in between. Most of the forearm, it's just hanging out. Feel whatever parts of your arms and hands are touching the ground. Finally come up to the head, feel contact of the back of your head with the floor. Slowly, gradually, start to clench your hands into fists, not real forcefully, not super tight. And scrunch up your toes. Can't really make fists with your feet, but imagine you could. How does that feel? You can release it when you want to. Does holding it for some more breaths change how it feels? Does it become more comfortable or less comfortable? Or stay about the same? Do you feel like you have to keep squeezing harder? Do you feel like you need to back off? Do you feel able to maintain about the same degree of squeeze in each hand and each foot? Maybe picture all curled up about the same amount. Or maybe not at the same amount. Can you picture what you feel? Can you see the differences you feel? If you're feeling differences. Can you scrunch up your face as you're scrunching up your hands and feet? Pucker your face like you just bit into a lemon or something. A really strong dill pickle. Whatever flavor makes you make that face. Notice your breath that is tensing up in these places. Shorten your breath. Can you maintain this tension and lengthen your breath? See how gradually you can unclench the muscles of your face, feet, and hands. Just as slowly as you can, little bit by little bit. Sometimes the body will do things contrary to what the mind is consciously directing. You're thinking slowness, and suddenly there's a bigger movement than what you were planning. The body has its own wisdom. Maybe a hand or a foot simply didn't want to be squeezed that much for that long. But how gradually can you let it all relax? I need to integrate another sip of water into my practice. Now you decide for yourself, scan your body, determine if you want to conclude practice in corpse pose, Shavasana. Maybe you've already chosen a different posture and you can stay where you are. Or maybe you didn't realize it was getting to be that time or hour. Do you find your closing posture mostly through listening to your body? Did you have some preconceived plan? Some idea in your head of the shape you wanted your body to be in? as we close practice? Do you want to explore any other movements before finding your final resting pose? You can add in anything you like that will help your practice feel more complete to you before you come to your final resting pose. You might focus on your breath. You might incorporate visualizing light into that focus. You might decide not to focus so much, or at least allow yourself the freedom not to. Maybe just letting thoughts come and go like clouds drifting by. You can imagine you're lying outside. Imagine yourself in any setting. You can stage your own shavasana. Do you take it in, experience it more as the director of the segment or as an audience? Give yourself some deeper breaths. Maybe picturing with each inhale an increasing brightness inside. Increasing volume of light filling you as you breath deep. Begin to move slowly and gently in any way that you like. Letting the movement start small, grow bigger and bigger. Take your time when you're ready to gently sit up. Thank you for joining me in practice today. The light within me sees and honors that same light within. Namaste.